But I'm intrigued. What do you have to say? Thank you for joining us here on Chatter, Southwest Florida. I am joined today with Justin Brand.
Good morning.
Good morning. We were just chatting before. I asked him if he would love to own his own event company,
Yes.
or actually own the event and conference center here in town. And he said he's taking it over one day. No, I'm just kidding. But that's a good question. Go ahead and elaborate on that just before we get started. Would you like to own your own brand or your own company?
I would, yes. Eventually be a CEO of some sort of marketing management type company. I've been in hospitality pretty much my whole life. So, either a hotel or something along the hospitality line would definitely be a huge achievement for me.
Love it, love it. Tell us currently about what you do, your position. I know we went over this prior. Got it written right over here. You're the operations manager.
I am, yes.
So, we got your picture back here. I see Christian's flickering. Go ahead and tell us about what you do. We'll get into business. And again, this show here on Chatter, we chat. No formality to it, no prep, no questions before.
None at
We're
all.
just meeting the first time. We kind of said hi right out here, maybe crossed paths before, but this is kind of our first time outside of a social kind of thing on Facebook or such. But this is kind of our first time meeting, which is kind of intriguing. A lot of people don't believe that.
Yeah.
They don't think that. They're like, oh, no, you prepped questions. Nope,
No.
there's nothing at all. So let's just get started. Tell us a little about your position, about the job, and what you love about it, what you hate about it. I mean, anything you want to share.
All right. Like you mentioned, I'm the operations manager at the event center, so I oversee all day-to-day operations for the event center, mainly in the aspect of setup, tear down. So my entire staff is in charge of the maintenance, upkeep of the building, making sure that everything is ready for when the client arrives. I work closely with sales and food and beverage to make sure that their needs are met. And this time I also meet with the clients to kind of get some of the things they want to do. So last year, one of the cool aspects we did with the mistletoe ball is we had an aerialist, something new that we did in the building, so I had to meet with them, met with the aerialist, got all of the formalities that we needed there, and then put all the pieces together to make it happen.
And I'm sure insurance played a pretty big part in that.
Oh, just a little bit, but yeah.
Having an
absolutely.
aerialist floating around above, that was... And we were saying prior to the show, too, the first time I kind of saw you, I guess, was during the Big Orange Fest last year.
Yep.
You were running around, and I can distinctly remember. I remember you questioned us because we had like a little tent. You made sure we were squared away, we were taken care of.
Right.
Actually, we had these chairs there.
Yes,
These were actually
now that you said that,
These
I
were
remember
actually
that.
brought in. Then we had to work our way around trying to get interviews and such, But I remember before the show because we had to get there early, like 8 a.m. 7:30.
Yeah, there was an early load in that day.
It was an early load in, and we were one of the first, and we got our stuff in. Nick told us to get there early, but we just sat back afterwards because there were trucks, so we couldn't really get out, And I remember seeing you just running, back and forth, square this away, do this. With that being said, I mean, what are some of the challenges, that you have with that?
A lot of the, some of the biggest challenges, it's kind of like a personal challenge and, kind of a company challenge is I want to be able to give everything that the client says. And, they have these big dreams and they want to do all these things. Well, there's some things that, from a facility aspect, we might not be able to do exactly, but we'll get as close as we can, especially when it comes to big event. You can only hold so many people in there according to, fire marshal laws and all that. So,
Sure.
On that, balancing that fine line is probably one of the difficult tasks that I have to do on a daily basis.
Understandable. And a client can be anywhere from a bride
Oh yeah,
to all the way to, again, concerts.
Correct.
And there's, all kind of events. I was looking back through some of it. Got a picture of it right here.
Yep.
I was thinking back through some of the events that have been hosted there. Just everything is hosted there.
Yeah, we've had circuses.
It's the place to be for the larger style, even small though, because there are breakout rooms.
There are some small ones. We had a small meeting room for 3 this week, so we'll go from 3 to 1,200.
And your recommendation to book out. So if we're looking at, say, like for instance, our company wants to book something a large event, 1,000 guests.
You're looking at probably a year.
Wow.
Yep, we'll contract a year out. So.
So it's good just to get on that calendar and secure up those weekends because there are busier times than others. I assume.
Yeah, there are. We're running out of weekends. I mean, we're probably out of weekends at this point.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I got a question for you. This is another business related question before we get into more about you.
Okay.
You kind of explained it already. What is the biggest pain point that you see with you're saying you guys are booked out, so business is great. I'm sure you're accountable for that as well, making sure it's booked out, right? So you're accountable for bookings, but not fully, I'm sure, because there's marketing side of it. But the ops side, you take care of.
Do the upside, the sales staff, and the sales team, they do amazing job. Sandy Darna, she
Sandy,
leads
I was
the
going to say,
team.
I was trying to think of who.
Yep.
Sandy, okay, right. So a pain point, I guess let's just go back to what you do. What would be the biggest pain point for you? So if you had to pull one out, which is kind of...
So going back with how booked we are, some days we will, one evening we'll have 600 sit-down dinner at banquets, and then we've got a flip for Big Orange. So having to do that large transfer,
right,
where we literally build everything, we'll build the stage, we build the riser seating. So that is probably the biggest painstaking, trying to do that time management on the budget that I have to work with in terms of labor costs.
You can go from one Friday night to all of a sudden complete breakdown, put away, cleaning. Bathrooms clean. I mean, everything has to be done, coordinated, staff taken care of. Because there's the client who's hosting the event, but then there's the sub-clients who are the guests.
Exactly.
So if they're going to complain to the client, that's going to reflect upon you. So I guess it trickles all the way down.
It does.
Everyone's got to be happy from start to finish. And then the next people coming in, which can be, is it ever the same day turnover?
We've had that, yes. So we'll go from... let's see, we have one event that'll happen early February every year. They come in, it's a big HOA meeting. We'll have 600 people there, and it's kind of like a big board meeting. And we have 2 hours to turn over and get ready for Care Ball to load in the next day.
Right.
So,
wow. So what is the outfit of like the day there? Is it because you're
casual,
you're
business
dressed
casual? This is a general outfit that I'll wear.
I'm thinking like workout clothes because you're running.
No, it's just like this. And then other days, Big Orange would be a day that I'm wearing jeans just because of the type of event, or I'll be in a full suit.
Sure. And then how many staff people? So if you're doing a turnover, again, I'm intrigued by this. Like, I'm asking. So if you have a quick turnover for the next day, and there was a large event that just happened on a Friday night,
right?
How many staff are employed, or would you employ to come in to assist? Contractors, so contractors
I do use
would
some
come
contracted employees. I have a staff of 25 that I like to make sure that they have their hours and do what I can for them there. But if we have that big turnover and I need to bring in more, there's been a few events where I'll have 30 employees just flipping over for the next event.
Wow. Yeah, that is a pain point. I can see that turnover.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
No day is the same. No event is the same. Even though we have some repeat events each year, they're completely different, and they task us with different problems, different issues, and we have to come up with a solution, which is great.
And you just kind of encountered one. Big Orange Fest was supposed to be a couple of weeks back because we were supposed to attend, and unfortunately now they're going to be at Lashley Park.
They are.
I'm sure scheduling conflicting, and I'm sure there was a lot of issues. And I know, and I spoke to Nick, and I know they worked tremendously hard to try to retain the live acts that were coming in, try to make everyone happy, ticket holders, and make sure the relationship's solid with you, and So, and I know, but again, you can't control the storm. That hurricane's barreling down on us. What are you going to do? And I'm sure for you guys missed out on a week or so, right? Of events.
Yeah, we had about a week because we are a county facility, so we do follow the county schedule, if you will. As soon as county buildings close, and we tend to follow suit. So we did have some rescheduling events. Luckily, we were able to reschedule most at a later time. The Big Orange, unfortunately, like I said, we're out of weekends, and it's one of those things. But we are offering as much support as we can as a building, still handling ticketing for them. So we are trying to really help them, because at the end of the day, it affected everyone in the community. So
it did,
we're going to do what we can.
And like a huge draw was it being inside. But then again, if it's pushed back, it is pushed back until November.
Correct.
So it is going to be cooler.
Yes.
It's going to be outside. It's going to be on. We're going to get that breeze a bit off of the water there.
Yeah.
There's some water around there.
Right.
But All right. Let's get into you. Let's talk about you. In just a moment, because I'm getting the fingers over here saying you better go to commercial. All right, we're gonna cut to commercial. Thank you. I'm here with Justin Brand on Chatter Southwest Florida. Give us 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here in Chatter, Southwest Florida, with Justin Brand. We're going to dig into you personally.
Okay.
Where were you born?
I was born upstate New York, so
Okay.
about an hour north of Lake Placid, so right
Okay.
on the Canadian border.
My wife was born up in that area. Which
Okay.
town or where?
So I was born and raised in Malone.
Malone, Franklin
Yes.
County.
Yes, Franklin County.
You're right on the border of Canada.
I am. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's a small town, historical.
Mm-hmm. Very small, very
Yeah,
historical.
yeah.
Getting to
I
be a
actually
little
know a
bit
little
more in the news lately. We had that that big prison break a few years ago.
Yes.
And then Ben Stiller's up there now shooting a new movie, so it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting to see, some relatives and friends posting with him roaming around town and into some of my favorite restaurants. So it's pretty nice.
So are you Canadian? You
My mom
consider
is,
yourself-
yeah.
Your mom?
So
Okay.
I'm part-
that's
yeah,
like
I'm part
that's like what I
Canadian.
mean. Did anyone
Yeah.
come from Canada? So
Absolutely.
you're part Canadian. Okay. Yeah, that's right there. Like
It is.
literally 10 miles from the border, maybe.
Yeah.
Give or take. Yeah.
Yep. It's from my house when I lived there to into Canada to one of my favorite restaurants was 12 minutes through customs.
Right.
So that's including customs time. So
Yeah. Gosh,
pretty-
yeah. So okay. So you moved down to Florida. What was the
Yes.
family come down? You decided to come down to Florida.
my
What
parents
was-
have always had homes down here, vacation homes. So I'm very used to the area. And then literally woke up one morning. I was like, I'm kind of done with the snow. Put in my notice at my previous employment up there and moved down. So it was pretty a quick one of
Yeah.
those quick life decisions that
So
I made.
you were a snowbird at one time.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
you
more
were kind
of
of considered a
vacationing.
snowbird a little
Yes.
bit more. So you're one of those drivers then.
Yeah.
When you're right, your family. Then you came down. Tell us more. Siblings? Any of
No,
that?
only child.
Only child.
I am, yes.
Okay.
Huge family though.
Yeah.
A lot of cousins, a lot of aunts and uncles. My dad's one of 10, so huge family. So
Yeah.
a really big family. So it was always like I had siblings, but didn't really. I was very
Yeah.
close with all my cousins. So
And we're just talking that you live about 20 miles or so south of here. So you
Correct.
actually commute back and
Yeah.
forth. Would you ever consider to move in this area, or are you just content down there?
you
'Cause
know,
that's kind of, Cape is kind of centered, though.
It is.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but you got
you're right.
Fort Myers is another 10, 20 miles south,
Yeah,
give or take.
give or take where you're
you,
going.
You got up here if you want to, so you're kind of centered.
I am centered.
Between,
It's nice. I like the community where I live. It's really nice. It's kind of an up and coming area, which I like. And actually, I don't know if you know this, Howard Kunick, so our local city manager, he
Yeah,
used to manage
right,
Cape
right.
Coral. So I've had some conversations with him, and just how far Cape Coral has come. I'm kind of intrigued just to stay there to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's had its rough patch in 2008 through about 10, well,
Mhm.
with the housing and everything go up and down.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's kind of had its rough patch. It was one of the country's, I think, like biggest hit
Mhm.
cities. I know Northport was one as well. I mean, we lived through that. That was
Right.
tragic. All of a sudden, on every street, a house is abandoned.
Mhm.
It was pretty tragic. And Cape had kind of the same effect happen to it. It was hit hard, but it's definitely evolving. So
It
I
is.
think you're going to stay there. I have that gut feeling you're probably
Yeah.
going to. Let's get into another personal
Sure.
question for you. This is one that we had.
Okay.
You didn't read it, but we prepped it prior, so this
Right.
is pretty good. What kind of advice would you give your younger self? Keep in mind,
Okay.
and everyone who's watching,
Yeah.
you're young. You're 27.
Yes.
To you might feel old because we were having a discussion about that, about getting old. But your younger self, maybe through the teen years, or maybe through when you were younger. And why I'm asking that is because I listen to podcasts a lot, and one that I'm listening to is a lot of teens currently are going through just struggles of finding identity or finding things about themselves. There was a young man. He loved rap. He loved
Right.
hip hop, and now his name is Russ.
Okay.
He's Russ the rapper, famous, and he wants to win a Grammy, and he's popular. And but the thing was, during his younger years, he went to a preppy school where he had to wear a polo and he was just when he went in there himself, they criticized him, so he had to
Right.
kind of be accepted in, to it, and that was his thing, going through. So my wheels are turning about
Okay.
my younger self, even in my 20s and 30s, but I'm intrigued. What do you have to say?
So when I was younger, I was always, okay, by this age, I knew to have accomplished this. So I was always putting these deadlines. And if I could tell myself, back then, especially going through college and maybe, junior, senior year of high school, don't put such rigid deadlines on your life. Just do the best you can. Take every day, pretty much as a gift.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Work hard, stay determined, stay motivated for your end goal. But it may take you, a little bit longer to hit a milestone or to accomplish this. And if you don't accomplish it at the time that you thought you were going to, don't get down on yourself about it. Just keep working hard and keep motivating yourself, and that would definitely be the advice I would give giving younger self. Absolutely.
And we always speak about that here too, patience. You know, when you're running at that sprint, I mean anything that you do, from sports life to any kind of life, when you try to sprint, you just get exhausted. You burn out really quick. So you got to realize life is long. And prior to the show too, we were discussing that if you double your age, you're still young. You're still. I mean, at 62 years old, you could start your own company, your own business. As I've gotten older, I've realized the wisdom catches up, but the mind, you still feel like you're 20.
Right.
It's very bizarre. Like, I feel I can hang out with you, Christian. He's 22, and he's distracted. But he's 22, and he's very mature beyond his years, though. It just amazes us. But you still feel like you are younger, but your body just can't wake up the same.
Absolutely.
you can't get to the gym and do what you used to be able to do, or other stuff. But it's just so patience. So patience
right.
is.
But that's easier said than done.
And setting goals, though. But you have so many years.
Yeah.
You have so long to 27. So long. If I can go back to 27 and tell myself, I mean, one thing is patience, without a doubt. Be patient, in where you want to go. I mean, because the connections that you're making. I mean, you're sitting here because I saw connections. Right. I just saw things. I was like, wow, this is someone who I want to chat with. Really, So with that being said, people are noticing. But if you try to speed that up a little bit, your intent is going to shift. I think when people go too fast, it becomes more of a money game. I'm going to go to my next job for $4 more an hour.
Right.
And you might have missed out on a huge opportunity by just staying put for just a little bit longer. That wisdom will click.
Right.
It's cool that you're saying that, at your age, because
it's definitely something.
Most younger folks are not saying that. They're chasing the watch or a Lambo. You know what I mean?
Right. And like you said, it's patience, and it's easier said than done. I mean, anyone who really knows me knows I am not the most patient person in the world.
Yeah,
so
I'm not either.
For me to be able to give that advice to myself is pretty cool.
Very good. We're going to go on another question. What was your favorite superhero growing up and through the years? Because I know it shifted. Because mine has shifted so many times. Superhero could be anything. Could be from, I don't know, a president could have been one. A firefighter could have been a superhero. Something that was considered a superhero to you. It could be a character.
All right, so I mean, starting off younger, as most people, you're going to look at a relative, so I really saw my parents as like a superhero type, someone that I idoled. Let's instead of saying superhero, let's go with idoled, someone that I idolized. Okay, so going through it was went from my parents. Then I remember having this one teacher in college that I really idolized. To this day, I still converse with him back and forth, and now it's just really. Anyone that's in the business community. I really idolize a lot of people in the business community. Donald Trump, I did a lot of papers on him just because my background's in hotels, so Trump Towers and all those things. So those were just a few people that I idolized.
Since you said Trump, we're gonna go there.
All
this is
right.
the first time that we're going there. You don't gotta tell us who you voted for, if you did vote or not. What is your opinion about Trump? You don't have to, you can give whatever you feel like, but this is not a show for that. But some people love the guy, some people hate the guy. I mean, there seems to be none of that middle ground yet for him. I don't know if he's earned his stripes yet. I guess you could say.
I'm just staying in the center lane.
Just staying,
staying in the center lane. Do what I can to, support whatever decision I feel passionate about.
Sure.
Being aware, trying to keep myself educated with what's going on. So I know the facts, and you're not just listening to all the mainstream media and all those things. So really educate yourself, and like I said, I'm staying in the center lane.
That's what we're doing. I think I'm kind of watching them. There's some things that I say, wow, that takes courage to go ahead and say and do, and then there's some that I say, wow, what are you thinking?
Right.
It's like I don't know sometimes. I just don't know how to take it, but either way, personally, it's refreshing to see someone just speak their mind, good, bad, and different.
Right.
I think sometimes you look at it that way, but sometimes you have to curb it because you are a president, and your reflection upon our country, I mean, that reflection upon you and myself, and,
absolutely,
and everyone else, and it's a dilemma, that we're in right.
It's like now. Same thing in business. You have to, you have to be careful what you say, and you're representing a company at all times. So. Yeah,
absolutely. Especially, I mean, you work for a business because we checked. I asked him if he owned the event center. He said, "No, I don't." But
but working for, right? So if someone
Yeah.
gets upset about something, or if a client hears something and they don't like, they won't
Absolutely.
rent the space, which could affect your job. And same with us as as a business owner. Sometimes as business owners we think we can say whatever we want, and it's not true. But I think this goes back to intent. If you're passionate, you believe in it, and if it's okay, I don't know. I don't even know if that's even the case. 'Cause there's a lot going on in this day and age. There is a lot. So super. So you're saying more of the idol. So so you started with there's family, there's teacher, there's a teacher. Trump. You kind of looked into him. Is there a common trait? Between them that you saw, you were like, wow, okay, that's
They're
somebody.
always very professionally driven. My parents were very professional, very driven business managers, business owners, and then going into college, the diversity of my professor, him, he started off, he worked for Disney, and then he went back to being a college professor and, real estate agent. So he's very professionally motivated as well. And then obviously Trump is, motivated to, as a professional to build his business, build his brand.
Yeah. Who else has been on the mainstream? Hyatt's. Who owns the Hyatt? I don't know who's the Hyatt's. Hilton's.
Yep.
Hilton's are kind of popular, like the daughters, Paris Hilton,
Correct.
and such. I know she had shows years back and stuff. But was it a show or was it? I don't know if it was a show or was it a show or a show? I don't know.
Bunch of tabloids.
Yeah. She was out there, but there's been several that have kind of exposed that, and it's fairly cool. Can you imagine if Trump had a reality show about his life, which he never had? He was always on a reality show,
right?
But never really behind the scenes look, into that as well. So it seems like he always acted a part, of something we never got a chance to really see.
Right.
Who the man was or who his family truly is behind the closed doors.
Yeah, his relatability might be a little different right now.
Yeah, because you see the humbleness, you would see that, because I'm sure there's compassion somewhere.
Right.
Somewhere there's humility. There is stuff during a given day. As Kevin was just sitting here and we talked about something that someone says about us, which is completely wrong, because we go home and we feel like I was told several times during speaking engagements that I was very brash. Mm-hmm. And sometimes my passion is mistaken for brash. I'm passionate about a topic, so I'll force it out. And I kind of want people to really grasp on what I'm saying because I truly believe in it. Mm-hmm. And then it comes across as brash. But you come home to my house, I'll cry at a commercial. You know what I mean? Where that humility comes out, that compassion comes out, which you don't show on stage, which you might not show even with your employees.
For sure.
Sometimes they don't really see that. So we're going to dig into one last question. Can you believe this? Okay. This is about 30 minutes already.
Wow.
It goes by
fast.
Really fast. What was the last purchase you made? I should say the last best purchase that you made under $100.
Best purchase I made under $100. God.
Last best purchase. Something that was you found a great deal. I'll try to give you some hints here. Maybe you'll get the mind going. Great deal. You're like, wow, this is phenomenal purchase. Because we asked a couple of questions of what was what was the last purchase that you made where you spent a silly amount of money? Kevin said he bought a 27-foot boat, I believe it was. Dr. Harmon said she bought a $1,000 dress at Saks Fifth Avenue.
Right.
Jeffrey Tomas sat here and he said that he spent $100 at Prime Steakhouse. He brought his family and his kids. That was his best spent $100. So $100 or below.
$100 or below.
What do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with the coffee I purchased this morning.
Damn.
Because God knows I wouldn't be able to be doing this right now without that. So that would be the
Dunkin'
last best
Donuts.
purchase.
Yes. So you got that in Cape, I take it.
No, I just got it right over here.
Oh, right over here. All right, okay. I was thinking, for some reason, you were going to say a tank full of gas when the storm came. Because it's peace of mind, security.
Yeah.
That was my last.
That was like my biggest thing, though. Anytime I saw a gas station open, even if I had to put like $5 in my car, I was like, I'm stopping. I want to be on full because you never know.
I'm still going through that. I'm charging my phone like nonstop. I'm dimming lights. I'm like, I don't want my power to go out anymore.
Yeah.
Kevin and I were just talking about that too. I learned. What did you learn? First off, did you lose power?
I did, yes.
What did you learn from it? Because we all seem like you learned a little something. What did you learn from that?
It's just more difficult here to be without power. It's more difficult to live in Florida without power. It really is. I mean, you're kind of miserable. You don't sleep well.
Yes.
And if, depending on where you live, if you're in the city or, on the outskirts, if you have a well, then your water's not working. So it's just...
That's right.
Florida's just different to not have power.
It was an amazing experience. I mean, and I told Kevin, I said, I learned I'm a spoiled brat. Mm-hmm. I'm completely spoiled. No phone, no Wi-Fi.
Right.
No TV, no social media, barely chatted with my friends and my coworkers. Like I had
Right.
I had a rough time. No shower. I had to heat up jugs outside and do one of these.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't happy. But when it came back on, I realized, again, it comes back to that humble. You have to become humble to have that ability.
Absolutely.
And people were just getting on Florida Power and Light. I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I saw numbers. One of my friends, Donna, she posts all the time, keeping everyone informed. She's done a great job. Donna Barrett, I don't know.
Oh, Donna, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's done a great job just keeping the community informed. And I think yesterday she posted another, pic of what was on Wink News, and we're down to, I don't know, is it like 9% of Florida is without power now? So that's pretty amazing.
That is.
You know?
It was over 3 million.
Yeah. So now
3
9% of Floridians don't have power, which
Yeah.
is pretty great.
So next storm will be even more efficient and more
Yeah.
efficient. So that's great news. Well, Justin,
Well, thank
that's
you.
it. That's it. Glad you came in.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. And that's it. We got another show coming up very soon. Your show, as
Yeah.
we spoke here, it's live. We're going to have the next version come on. It'll be on www.chattertv.online, our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Shop Local Southwest Florida, Chatter, and other shows as well. So thanks, my man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us here on Chatter Southwest Florida. We will see you next time.